Well, hey everyone, my name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to talk about all things movies, specifically Blu-rays, and today we're going to be doing a major Blu-ray and 4K haul. There's so many things that I was able to pick up in the last end of May, early June, and I know this is the middle part of June when you're watching this, so yeah, the month isn't over, but from here on out, I'm only getting things that I've already ordered, like pre-ordered and stuff like that. No more things, although that Target buy two get one free sale had to dip my toes in that, of course. My Vendor syndrome order is still on its way as well. So there's a few more hauls down the line, but I swear no more. This week has been a rough one for me. I've been sick. Also, my AC is not working. It's still not working. So if you see me break into sweat, that's because of that. Also because I'm always just so super nervous all the time, you know. So sweating. Anyway, beyond that terrible superstar joke, let's jump into what I've been picking up for the month. A lot of these films I actually have seen before. Can't speak on some of them because some of them are upgrades, obviously, to better transfers and whatnot. But yeah, I want to know before we jump into this, what have you been picking up for the month of June so far? I would love to know in the comment section down below. So let's now jump into the Blu-rays that I picked up, and then we'll get into the 4Ks, and then we'll get into some boutique labels. So let's start off with a favorite of mine. All right, it's really not one of my favorites, but it's called The Favorite, so I had to say that. But Yorgos Lanthimos, I've loved everything that I've seen this director do. I still haven't seen Dogtooth or The Alps or some of the previous films from, I think, The Lobster onward is what I know, right? But I really enjoyed this. This came out a few years ago, back in 2019. And I remember this being a shoe-in favorite for a lot of people for different reasons. I think it might have won for best costume, but I could be mistaken. But I really love Yorgos's mix of humor, the really dry humor with a lot of wit. It's like a period piece. And I loved Olivia Colman. And of course, Emma Stone, those two stole the show. Rachel Weisz is also fantastic in this film. But yeah, The Favorite, it's been a while, and I can't believe it just took me this long to pick it up, but I think it's because I got it for a pretty decent deal. So yeah, The Favorite, have you seen it? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, next is a romantic comedy that I actually watched last night. Previous video of this, I had not seen it, but now I have. And I'm talking about They Came Together. This is starring Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler. And this came out in 2014, so it's been some time since this came out, but this is literally a romantic comedy spoof of all the romantic comedies. It definitely sets up very much like You've Got Mail in a lot of ways, in a lot of senses. And there's actually so many references to a lot of different romantic comedies in here that is just absurd. But I actually laughed my ass off many times in this film. Didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. There's a lot of really cool cameos. Especially near the end where I just lost it. But yeah, it's really good. I really enjoy just how over the top this movie is, and really just kind of poking fun of the genre. But then again, I also love the genre, so I can't deny how much of a smile that I had when I watched this movie. So yeah, They Came Together, really good romantic comedy spoof. Highly recommend it. Check it out if you haven't seen it. All right, next we're going to move on to another comedy. I think this is more of a black comedy, but I have not seen this. In fact, I believe I saw this just based on a trailer of a recent watch that I had, but I'm talking about Frank right here, which is directed by Lenny Abrahamson. It's starring Michael Fassbender as Frank, who is in that suit. It looks like one of those Wii Sports heads, or what's it called? Metaverse. I'm surprised I even knew what that was. That's what it looks like. But it's about a band, right? And Frank is the leader. It also has Domhnall Gleeson in it, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Scoot McNairy. I really love that cast. I'm really excited to check this one out. This looks like just a really fun, little light film. Obviously, it's not light. It's rated R. It's also 95 minutes, which is perfect. And I love that timeline. But yeah, if you've seen Frank, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. All right, now moving right along to some folk horror films that I picked up. A lot of them were actually recommendations from that All the Haunts Be Ours box set when we were going through the Woodlands, Darks, and Days Bewitched documentary by Kayla Janice, and these two films came up. One of them actually is, let's see, I got In the Earth right here. This is directed by Ben Wheatley, which this film was talked about in the documentary, but also Ben Wheatley also has a film in the collection of all the Hauntsby Hours box set, A Field in England, which is really great. And so I'm excited to check out this more kind of, horror film that is, really regional based, and it looks like it has geography all written all over it. Next I actually have is The Wind, right? Which I think is actually what the original name of this title was, but it's The Wind, Demons of the Prairie. Very excited about this one as well. This is another film that has a lot to do with what's going on in the actual Earth itself, and the atmosphere and the environment really playing a big role, and looks terrifying. So I don't really know much about it, but I got this one used actually at my local movie store, and I got the In the Earth from Orbit DVD. So I got those. This is a Region B release. This is one from Scream Factory. It's in IFC Midnight Film. So very excited to check out more folk horror. All right, so moving on from there, I got one last Blu-ray before I jump into the 4Ks. One I got from Big Lots for about $3, I think. That's how much I spent for this one. But it is a animated film called My Life as a Zucchini. And this is directed by Claude Barras, and stars Will Forte, Nick Offerman, Ellen Page at the time, and Amy Sedaris. So very excited about this. This is a Studio Ghibli kids release, so that's really cool. But yeah, this is a short that I remember a few years ago, the Oscars talking a lot about this film. But yeah, I couldn't pass up not spending $3 or $4 on this release. So if you go to Big Lots and this is there, definitely pick it up. All right, now let's jump into the 4K releases. So the first two that I have right here are from Marvel. This is part of the cinematic universe, the MCU. These are just ones that I hadn't picked up because honestly, they're not necessarily my favorites, but obviously I want to, have the entire series. And yeah, but anyway, I have Black Widow right here, and I also have Eternals. Now, both of these films are a little bit lackluster in my eyes. I actually enjoyed Eternals a little bit more than I liked Black Widow. Let me talk about Black Widow first, because this is the one that came out first. Now, I remember watching this, obviously, during the really tumultuous times, of course. I think this was just kind of an afterthought, and that's the reason I think I'm a little bit harsh on it. Now, I really love the supporting cast. I love Florence Pugh and David Harbour quite a bit. I think they add a lot of life to this, and Scarlett Johansson obviously does fantastic as well. It's a nice send-off for her, but I also, like I said, I think this is an afterthought. I believe the story was just kind of put together, kind of cut and paste, and I feel like if this was actually put out, around the same time that the first Avengers came out, I think that would have actually worked out a little bit better in my eyes. But as for Eternals, I really love Chloe Zhao. I really love her work, and I think her cinematography and the way she directs is actually just marvelous. But with this film, I think there's just too many moving parts, and it's a little long-winded. It definitely has a lot of stuff going on for it. There's a lot of really great sequences in here, and there's a lot of really cool actors in here as well. And there's a lot of people in this movie, but I need to rewatch it. I just remember watching it in theaters and really enjoying it, but not like totally blown away by it. So, but yeah, I picked up these two Marvel movies. They think they were on sale, so that's the reason I picked it up. And I never buy anything Disney on sale. That's just normal priced, so I had to do that. All right, next is a film from last year that's one of my favorites from last year, and that is No Time to Die. This is the 25th James Bond film, and man, oh man, I grew up with James Bond. I had all the VHSs back in the day with my dad. I remember used to getting them at Sam Goody and FYE when it existed, and the old FYE. I know FYE still exists. But anyway, No Time to Die. Yeah, I had a really great time watching this movie. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous film. It is shot just amazingly, and I heard that this transfer is just also an incredible release. So very, very happy to have it on 4K. I think I just waited for it to go down a little bit in price, and I finally did pick it up. And I believe you can get this for probably a pretty good deal either on Amazon or Target when they're having their buy two get one free. But yeah, certainly if you have not seen this one, it's an incredible send-off for Daniel Craig. I really enjoyed it, like I said, in theaters. The only thing I would say is maybe a slight detractor for it is Rami Malek. I really enjoy in this film, but he just is a little bit underwhelming as a villain. Just personally, I think he could have put a little bit more emphasis. I mean, he's very remarkable. I mean, I remember him very well, but just very subtle. Just not as the villain that I'd expect. It's weird to think of all the Daniel Craig Bonds, like all the best ones are the odd ones, right? The first, third, and fifth film. Casino Royale, Skyfall, and now this. Those are the best Daniel Craig films, and so But yeah, No Time to Die, check it out, please. All right, next we're going to move on to another film that really surprised me, actually. I wasn't as surprised as I probably would have if I didn't know that James Gunn had directed it, but I finally picked up The Suicide Squad, another film that I was waiting for it to go down a little bit in price. I did watch this in theaters or on HBO, I don't remember which, but I do remember having a really good time with this one. It's over the top, and I love the opening sequence, of course, kind of rectifying what the previous film had put out, just called Suicide Squad, which I don't even want to talk about. I really don't like that movie. It is just a cluster. Yeah. Anyway, this film a lot better cast as well. I had a good time with all the people in it. A lot of fun. I love Sylvester Stallone as a shark. Of course, Idris Elba and John Cena and Margot Robbie and everyone who was involved in this film. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that James Gunn was able to work on this and put that little magic touch to it. So yeah, Suicide Squad. Check it out if you haven't. It's very dark but very funny. All right, next is a film that I remember watching in theaters and I wasn't like super blown away by it, but I'm definitely understand why it exists. And I'm talking about Toy Story 4. It took me a while to get it, just like I was talking about with the Marvel movies. Disney movies, it just takes a while for me to actually pick them up because they just never go on sale and they just cost too much money. But I believe I did a buy two get one free sale, and this one came up. Yeah, but I remember like I said, watching this in theaters and enjoying it, and really thinking about it. But in terms of the trilogy that came beforehand, which is one of the better trilogies that exists, and now I guess there's 4 of them. But like I said, it makes sense that this movie came out, but also I'm a little bit peeved. I'm like, should have ended it at 3. That's just me, but obviously that's a typical, like very typical response to hear. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed this film. I like the passing of the torch aspect of it. I think that was a really, really well done move. And so we'll see how Lightyear is. I've heard really good things about it, but once again, just like Toy Story 4, not like super invested in it. I'm just interested in it. So yeah, picked up Toy Story 4. All right, the last film that I have right here does not have a slipcover, which is not something I really mind too much, but this is a fantastic film. It came out, I think, in 2016. That sounds about right. Go looking for it. Yeah, it came out in 2016. I'm talking about Hell or High Water, of course. Written by Taylor Sheridan, who I've really liked his work, of course. It has Jeff Bridges, Chris Pine, and Ben Foster, who is a great asshole always. But anyway, really love this kind of neo-western of sorts. I love Taylor Sheridan's work. I have not actually seen a lot of his recent stuff, which is a surprise, but yeah, this is a fantastic western. It is really dark, but also at the same time it's like gorgeously shot, and will have you on the edge of your seat. So I wanted to upgrade this film. It's been a while since I've seen it. I remember loving it in theaters and loving the dynamic between Chris Pine and Ben Foster, of course, especially. So yeah, I wanted to upgrade this to 4K, and I finally did. All right, next is a film that I have not seen before, but I believe I got it for like another buy two get one free sale. And this one is starring Tupac Shakur, talking about Juice. And yeah, this one actually slipped my radar. I had heard about it for the longest time growing up, but I just had never seen it, and I still have not seen it yet. But this is the 30th anniversary, and when this was announced for a 4K release, I was pretty excited about that. So it's also starring Omar Epps, Jermaine Hopkins, and Khalil Kain. But yeah, I've heard really great things about this from various friends of mine, and they were super ecstatic about it, that it was coming out on 4K. So very excited to check out Juice in the near future. If you've seen it, let me know in the comment section down below. And I also just need to listen to more Tupac, I guess. All right, so the last 3 4Ks I have in front of me are all from Groove.com. They actually just recently had a sale and got these for a pretty good deal. These are all films I have not seen before. So this next one that I'm about to show, I plan on watching tonight, so I might have recent thoughts on it soon. And that is Last Night in Soho, directed by Edgar Wright, who I've loved ever since the Coronado trilogy, of course, and I really enjoyed Baby Driver as well. But yeah, this is starring Anna Taylor-Joy, Thomasin McKenzie. Obviously, we all love Anna Taylor-Joy and everything she's in. I'm a big fan of The Witch, right? But yeah, Edgar Wright, he has not done anything wrong yet. I love his energy. I love him as a person, and I've heard really good things about this. I've heard it's actually a little bit of a mixed, but like towards the positive end of things, right? So mixed in the good way. But I love the throwbacks. I know he's a movie lover, so I know there's going to be a lot of references to other films in it. And I remember, I want to say when I watched the trailer to this, and there's like some time travel aspects of it. I think it was Thunderball that was playing, or it was either Octopussy. I don't remember. One of the Bond films was in the background when this happened in the 60s. So very excited to check this one out. And yeah, I'll have my thoughts later on when I watch it later tonight. All right, next is a film that I actually, unfortunately, was not able to watch in theaters. For some reason, it wasn't really speaking to me at the time, but I finally picked it up, and that is Nobody. And Bob Odenkirk, of course. I know him for his brother, more from Kung Pao. But yeah, this is from the producers of John Wick, and Bob Odenkirk. More or less, I guess it's like a John Wick story. It's definitely some revenge story, and Bob Odenkirk is that punching bag, as you can tell, but he's also kind of a badass. So we'll see how that goes. It looks like a lot of fun. I've heard good things about it, but yeah, I've not seen it yet, so I can't really speak too much on it. But have you? Nobody knows. All right, and then the last 4K that I have right here is one that's going to be like, what? You haven't seen this? I've seen clips and parts of this movie for my entire life, but I've still not ever seen the whole thing. I'm talking about the Blues Brothers. Yeah, I don't have this. John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd. This is directed by John Landis, of course. All legendary people in their own rights. But yeah, I still have not seen Blues Brothers. I know. But now I have the 4K of it, and very excited to check it out. And it's 4K glory. So yeah, there's no reason to not hold that back on that. So let's now jump into my boutique label releases. All right, hold the presses, I lied. I actually still have a 4K release that's not a boutique label, but I forgot all about it, which is crazy because it's a huge release. And I'm talking about Lawrence of Arabia on 4K. This is the Steelbook edition of it right here. Very excited to finally have this on 4K. I actually missed out on the Columbia Classics. I really love the way this is set up, by the way. This is how Steelbooks should be set up. You definitely have some extra plastic to take care of it. But yeah, this artbook looks amazing. I ordered it from Amazon. I pre-ordered it, and it actually came a little bit later than usual, but that's totally fine. This is an epic. You're going to have to take a lot of time out of your day to check it out, and I popped it in for like just a second just to see the 4K release, and it looks so good. But anyway, I cannot wait to check out this entire film. I love this epic. It's one of the greatest films of all time. I mean, that's speaks for itself. I need to get the Bridge on the River Kwai, which is another release that is just like this. Has a 4K box set of it. The Steelbook. Wow, my mind's completely out. The air conditioning is just really messing with me. But very excited for Lawrence of Arabia on 4K. If you've picked this one up, let me know in the comment section down below. Have you seen it yet? I would love to know your thoughts on it. All right, so now we're jumping into the boutique label releases. First is from Scream Factory. It's Life Force. And Life Force came out in 1985, and this looks like a schlocky fun time. I definitely went to my local video store, and I was thinking, I didn't have any plan. I'm sure you all done this before, where you just like, I just want to browse, right? Don't want to spend any money, just like looking around, might spend money. And that's exactly what happened, because you accidentally spend money, and that was for Life Force. I know that several people have seen this recently. I know Ken at Mid-Level Media recently did a review of it. This looks like just like a really fun space vampire film, and that's exactly kind of the random thoughts of where I'm at right now. I'm just like, let's just watch something schlocky and fun and crazy. So in the blink of an eye, the terror begins. Yeah. Have you seen this Life Force release? I would love to know your thoughts on it. I'm glad to have the new 4K original scan here. Yeah, and to check it out. Another weird, bizarre film that has escaped me. So let's check out Life Force soon. All right, so next is a film from Imprint Films, which I normally don't actually get too often because it is kind of rather expensive. I got this from OrbitDVD.com, just like I did recently when I was talking about In the Earth. From Ben Wheatley, but this is from Terrence Malick, and I picked up Days of Heaven. Now, I know this is a Criterion release, and I did not have the Criterion release. I missed out on it before it went out of print, but that's totally fine because I have this version of it now, which I've heard great things about. But it has, some nice featurettes from it from recent 2021 featurettes here. So very excited to check this one out and compare. I would love to know the differences if any of you have seen the Criterion release, just to compare and contrast kind of the images and also the features. But yeah, I'm very excited to finally check this one out. I love Terrence Malick for the work that I've seen him do. Of course, there is that artwork from Imprint. And yeah, this is one that just kind of escaped my radar. It's one of the Terrence Malick films that I have not seen yet. I've really enjoyed his work elsewhere, right? I love The New World, Tree of Life, and and all the previous films that I had seen from him. So yeah, Days of Heaven, I'm going to have to add that one to the list. All right, so next is the last thing I got from Orbit DVD, I believe. This is from BFI, so this is a Region B release, so it's only available from and this is from 1954. It's a mini series actually from the BBC, I believe, and it is 1984. So excited about this because it's got Hammer legends in it. Peter Cushing and Andre Morel, who I really love. Donald Pleasance is in it, and so is Yvonne Mitchell. Man, what a cast. That cast is just so good. But yeah, like I said, I don't really know much about this, but I'm just very excited to check out. This is a double disc right there. There is a booklet, War is Peace, right there, of course, from obviously the 1984 book, which we all know is the classic right there. So I'm just so excited about checking this one out. So yeah, it came out in 54. It's a television drama, it just looks like a BBC classic, and it's got some really cool special features on there as well. I'm very excited about this. I want to say that, Davey, you're the one who pointed this one out to me, so definitely got it on my mind, and I wanted to pick it up from there. So yeah, 1984, have you seen this series? I would love to know in the comment section down below. All right, next is another UK release, but luckily this is all regions because they recently became all regions, but I actually picked this up at my local video store, which is really rare, but I got an indicator title. I got A Time for Dying, another Bud Bodeker film, and I've really loved the Renown cycle with Bud Bodeker and Randolph Scott. That was such a great ride. I love that. But yeah, this is another Bud Bodeker film, not starring Randolph Scott, but it has Richard Lapp, Anne Randall, Bob Random, Miss Patrice Kay, Victor Jory, and Audie Murphy in here as well. So I'm just excited about this one. Of course, Indicator always comes with a bunch of special features in there. The reversible art is the same as this art right here, just with no PH strip. And it, of course, comes with the booklet right here. This is the limited edition of A Time for Dying, but I love Indicator, and I will always talk about them. But yeah, I'm in mood for another Western. I randomly found this on the shelf at my video store. I'm like, I have to get it. I think this came out in the same time that The Phantom of the Monastery and La Llorona also came out. So yeah, that was a good month for Indicator. So definitely checking out this new Bud Bodeker film. It's not new, it's from 1969, but it's new in the physical media realm. So anyway, Time for Dying. Have you seen it? All right, next we're going to move on to Criterion, to some releases. Let's just talk about the big one in the room, which is the Double Indemnity 4K that came out at the end of May. This is directed by Billy Wilder, starring Fred McMurray, Barbara Stanwyck, and Edward G. Robinson, of course. It's been a bit since I've seen this film. I have the old Blu-ray, and now I get to upgrade it to the 4K. This is from 1944. It's a noir classic. I am so pumped to check this one out. But yeah, it's got a really great bit of special features there. It comes with the Blu-ray and the 4K right there. There's discs right there. Actually, there's a hidden disc right there. There's the 4K, and then there's the Blu-ray with special features. And then there is a booklet that comes with it. Very excited to jump into this when I get in the mood of a noir. But yeah, like I said, it's been a bit since I've seen it, but I've heard the transfer of this is stunning. So very, very happy about this release, and so excited to check into more Billy Wilder because I love that director, and I love this release. And yeah, I'm ecstatic for it soon. All right, so let's talk about another 4K from Criterion. This is one that it was on my radar when it was announced, but I didn't pick it up, and I think I actually got it on Amazon for a pretty good deal. And I picked up The Last Waltz, Martin Scorsese's Last Waltz. This is a concert film, and considered to be one of the greatest of all time. And there are some Scorsese films that I have kind of missed out on. There's a lot of just missing pieces, like New York, New York, and The Last Waltz. But yeah, I wanted to add this to the collection, watch more Scorsese films, and I've heard really, like I said, phenomenal things about this and this 4K release as well. So it also has the Blu-ray and the 4K UHD with a bunch of special features, of course, right there. So yeah, very excited about this one. It's from 1978. Spine number 1118. I don't think I said the spine number for the previous one, but yeah, excited to check out more Scorsese, right? And The Last Waltz is going to add that to the collection. All right, speaking of musicals, I actually did recently watch this, and I picked it up. This came out, I think, last week, actually, and that is The Tales of Hoffman. This is actually a Blu-ray upgrade from the DVD that existed. So this is spine number 317. This is directed by Powell and Pressburger, and that was the thing that sold me, right? Just Powell and Pressburger. I love the films that I've seen from them, Matter of Life and Death, in the Red Shoes. I still have not seen Black Narcissus and the Colonel Blimp. I still have them on my list. I'm going to get there. But I wanted to watch The Tales of Hoffmann, and I put it in, and it is a really great opera. It's like a great tale of three different scorned lovers, and each vignette is completely different from the rest. Very colorful. I love the routines. I love this the set design and the choreography. It's just phenomenal. But yeah, this is a film that enchanted me. I really love the very opening sequence, and also the first lover, I guess. That was my favorite part of the movie. But yeah, check this film out if you've not seen it before. It's definitely worth a watch, and if you like musicals, you'll definitely love it. So, Tales of Hoffmann, definitely recommend it. All right, so next we have some Kino Lorber releases. First is just a Blu-ray, and one that I picked up, I believe, on Amazon because it went down in price quite a bit, and it is The Whales of August. This is directed by Lindsay Anderson, starring Bette Davis, Lillian Gish, Vincent Price, and Ann Sothern. Wow, what a cast. This looks like kind of one of those films that I was talking about earlier, like the James Ivory films that I really, really like, those kind of biopics, just kind of set in the countryside. But this definitely is just adds to that. This came out in 1987, which is like one of my favorite years of film. But yeah, that cast in general was the one that sold me on wanting to check this one out, and it's been on my watch list on and off for a few years, and so I finally was able to pick it up for a pretty decent price. But yeah, if any of you have seen this film, I would love to know your thoughts on it down in the comment section down below. All right, the next three films I have are all 4K upgrades, and I've seen these in the past, and I really, really love them. The first one I'll bring up is In the Heat of the Night, which I have on Criterion as well. But I wanted to get this 4K upgrade right here, starting Sidney Poitier, of course, and Rod Steiger. This is a legendary and very essential film to watch. This came out in 1967, which is a very tumultuous time, not just around the world, but in America, and then also the setting of where this is taking place. And I'm not necessarily nearby, but I'm close enough in the geography of the country to know how some of this plays out, which is unfortunate. But yeah, this is a really incredible film. Highly, highly recommend it. It also comes with two extra films. They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, the 1970 sequel to In the Heat of the Night, The Organization, the 1971 finale of this Poitier and Tibbs trilogy. So yeah, definitely highly recommend it, just for those extra features alone, with some new commentaries, of course, as well, and some featurettes. But yeah, I'm very excited that Kino Lorber was able to put this one out and to check it out, this classic film. All right, the last two films I have from Kino Lorber are the first two parts of the Man with No Name trilogy. It is A Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More. And I know this came out near the end of May. I got it a couple days early, but yeah, wow. Such fun and fantastic releases here, yeah, it's getting me in the mood to watch more spaghetti westerns, of course. I love these films. I grew up with them. I also watched them with my dad, and of course, having them new on 4K alongside The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. I just cannot wait to check out this whole new trilogy. This new upgrade trilogy for all of the films. I've heard really great things about them from various people already talking about the upgraded 4K editions of these films. So very excited to check these ones out soon. All right, so the last two films I want to talk about are huge releases for the year. One is the 90th anniversary of this film, which is just insane to think about. But it is Vampire, and this is from Eureka Masters of Cinema right here. I have this film right here, which comes with these awesome extra features. That is a thick book. Oh my God. But yeah, The Strange Adventures of Alan Gray. This looks fantastic. Cannot wait to check out this book. Of course, I have seen this film before. This is directed by Carl Theodor Dreyer, of course. Yeah, this is a film that I have on Blu-ray already from Criterion, but the 90th anniversary, adding with a Guillermo del Toro commentary, definitely had me wanting to pick this one up. It has a lot of special features on there, as you can kind of read just briefly right there. I'm going to drop it if I don't. But it has a bunch of special features here. And it also has just an amazing release here. And I really love Vampire the first time I saw it a few years back. But yeah, I really love the artwork on this. I just love how the shadows are just almost like an entity unto itself in this film. There's so many characters in it that are just like, memorable and also unrecognizable because of all the shifting. So very excited to check this one out again. And, happy birthday to Vampire. Happy 90th anniversary. Can't believe we're almost a decade away from it being 100, which is just insane. Yeah, but I had to check this film out from Eureka, Masters of Cinema. I definitely wanted to pick this one up. And then probably the biggest release of this entire haul is the 4K edition from Second Sight. It's Drive. Yeah, I know a lot of people have already talked about this release, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but oh my god. Like I said, I put this in just like I did with Lawrence of Arabia when I first picked it up, and it looks great. But yeah, this is a honking release for this film. It's got so many special features right here and limited edition content. But I actually really love how this is designed. So like you can see that this is how you put up some things. Just have it like a little base, right there. Perfect. So I'm gonna put that base down there, and when we open this film box set up, right, we want to open this up. There's actually some things here. Let's pull it out. There is the films itself, which I don't want to. I'm gonna knock over everything in my lap real quick. First of all, there's the films itself right there on Blu-ray and 4K. And all the special features. And then there are some postcards that come with all of the people involved in the film. There's Gosling right there. Oscar Isaac, of course, and all the people who are involved in this film. I love seeing the images from there. Those are actually really, really good material right there for those cards. There's also 2 books that comes with it. This is James Sales's Drive, so this is a novel that comes with the film right there. I think this might have been based off of I Drive. That's what I do, all I do. So very excited about this. Looking into this novel eventually and reading this along with all the extra supplemental materials that we all have, right, that we have to read as well. And then this right here, this hard book with a hammer on the front, comes with the special features with probably all of the film essay book and the contents of the book itself and the cast and crew, and pictures and storyboards, and yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. But yeah, very excited to check out this set and really just put this into overdrive. Pardon the terrible puns. So yes, that is Drive. Very excited that I picked this one up. I definitely should have went overboard on that one, but I wanted to pick that one up because it is such a fantastic film. But anyway, that is what I picked up for the month of the very end of May and all of June so far. Like I said, I made a vow, definitely not trying to spend any more money. But anyway, I would love to know what you've been picking up for the month. Stick around on the channel. There's a lot of really cool things happening. I'm continuing with my question and prompt series with everyone in the community, and then also continuing with the Film Journey series. There's a lot of things coming on board. There's an exciting trip happening next month that I cannot wait to share with all of you. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you made it to the end. Give it a like, share, hit the notification bell, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.